The racing world is currently going crazy over NASCAR's Garage 56 entry into this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. The modified Camaro has taken the sport by storm, decimating the times set by the GTE cars. As NASCAR's biggest international project in years draws more eyes to the sport, allow me to draw your eyes all the way back to an older era, because few people know this, but 2023 is not NASCAR's first attempt to race at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The year was 1976, 10 years removed from Ford's American triumph at Le Mans. The race organizers contacted then NASCAR President Bill France Sr. They came up with an offer of a brand new class of cars to introduce to the 1976 24 Hours of Le Mans, a class known as the Grand International class. This class allowed top flight Cup Series cars to take part in the race. It would be up to NASCAR to nominate the teams that would go to France to represent the sport in this class. The first team was one owned by Herschel McGriff, a road course specialist who, despite being at the age of 90, competed in an ARCA race in 2018. McGriff would pilot his Dodge Charger. The second nominated would be a Ford Torino owned by Junior Dunleavy, a NASCAR team owner who had been in the sport since 1950. Herschel would take over driving duties with his father Doug, while Dunleavy's car would be driven by Richard Brooks and Dick Hutcherson. The French audience was super excited for these stock cars, giving them the nickname Les Deux Manches, which translates to the two monsters. The two teams got much attention on the grid, as the mostly European crowd would not be accustomed to seeing American muscle cars in person, much less here at the biggest stage in racing. As is the case with the current Garage 56 entry, modifications were needed to prepare a stock car used to high-banked ovals for a 24-hour race around a track with little lighting, massive straights, and high-speed twisty cornering. Headlights were added for nighttime racing. Extra mirrors were added for visibility, as drivers would need to be aware of the cars around them. The cars now had windscreen wipers in case rain fell during a session. The car's characteristics meant that both the Ford and the Dodge weren't expected to qualify very high, and they didn't. Dunleavy's Ford Torino would start the race dead last, with McGriff's Dodge not too far ahead. The fanfare for the cars weren't enough to keep it in the race though. 2 laps hadn't even been completed when the McGriff Dodge dropped out of the race. Herschel says the team weren't properly prepared for the race, and the lower octane fuel they used completely destroyed the engine. Dunleavy's Ford Torino chugged along, managing to complete over 11 hours before also retiring. McGriff cites the poor performance of the two cars as the reason NASCAR never sent another car to race at Le Mans. Luckily for Herschel, he himself would return to Le Mans in 1982 in a modified Chevy Camaro. Though he finished the race, he wasn't classified due to the fact that the car hadn't completed the required miles necessary for classification. But yeah, that's NASCAR's first go at Le Mans. It wasn't successful by any means, but it's definitely a thing that happened. And given how much international attention NASCAR has gotten, with guys like Jenson Button, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Kamui Kobayashi having a try, this year's Garage 56 entry has the potential to bring more international eyes to the sport than ever before. Only time will tell though.